Welcome back, Jenny fans. Here we are in the garden. We're going to do a video with the garden railway extension, principally to show winter maintenance, sort of things you need to keep an eye on and do. I mean, the worst of the winter is hopefully past. We've had quite a lot of snow and ice, so it's worth checking out the model here in the garden and making sure that there's no damage, no deterioration. And also to really just get it ready for running some trains, because I really do want to get something running. Also another point, I suppose, is if I get the track clean and it then snows, I can then try and run trains with the snowplow. Because the trouble is, if it snows and you haven't cleaned the track, you can't run trains with the snowplow no matter how hard you try, because the track's dirty and the trains won't get any power whatsoever. First things first, we did a review of this track cleaning rubber a little while back actually, when I first discovered these, and I used to use the Pico track cleaning blocks, and what I found with those is they just run out and crumble far too easily, and you end up with your fingers dragging along the track instead, so they weren't really all the best. And just for a pound or so more, I've got this, and it's much bigger, but we'll put a link on to that review video. But what we're really doing is pure and simple, same as anything else really. We're just giving those rail tops a good clean up, and you can see the change in colour, but you can also see the filth that's coming off, and that's really just a winter's worth of verdigris. You can see as well the ballast is sort of going a funny green colour. Now if you're not really wanting that very sort of sludgy, weathered look, you can go over it with something like Milton fluid, or a solution, hand-warm solution of water and soda crystals, and that should clean a lot of this off without really damaging the rest of the track. But if you're not really too bothered about that, then it shouldn't really affect anything. The other thing we've got to do is, you can see we've had a lot of wind, and you see all over the garden we've got an awful lot of, well, here we've got conifer trees, so we get a lot of conifer detritus coming off on the track. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. We've had some very high winds, and it's just blown the stuff clean off here. You can also see the local bird population have grown tired of not having trains to dive bomb, and have instead been leaving their unique deposits on the track. Ew. So what we're going to do is we're going to work around and clean that. But the other thing that we need to do is we've got this Meccano girder bridge here, and it's provided a focal point for an awful lot of the videos. It's really a good place to video the trains going by. But after a winter, what we need to do is check structures like this over for any signs of damage to the paintwork and subsequent rust bubbling through, because you don't want that, because it'll just strip all the paint off and it will weaken and eventually destroy the structure. But we're looking over this, and this actually looks pretty good. When it was built, it was given a very good multiple coat of firstly hammerite undercoat to protect it from rust, and then several coats of the Buckingham green is what I used, and that seems to be holding up really well. But it's also worth, make sure you look underneath as well, because sometimes you can find that the rust appears where you can't see it, and if you don't go looking for it, it only turns up when it's probably a little bit too late. The other area that we need to look at is the underside of these the wooden boards. We need to make sure that there's no water ingress. So if we get down nice and low and try and have a look up underneath, what we're looking for is any dark patches, and they will be signifying that water's working its way through from the top. And it may not necessarily even be actually damp to the touch, especially if you've not had heavy rain for a while, but certainly when you've had snow and ice on the structure, they're quite terrible for finding any little gap. And then of course the freeze-thaw action opens them up and allows much more water in. But looking underneath here, we're doing pretty good, and I can see round from here most of the rest of the model, and it's holding up pretty well. But that's something that is particularly important this time of year to check, but also it's worth checking that throughout the year as well. Just keep an eye on it, and then you can dive in there and use something like the watered down bitumen paint in the affected areas to try and seal any holes. So there we go. We seem to be doing all right. I mean, the garden looks pretty spartan at the moment, and what I'm thinking of actually doing is trying to get some evergreen bushes, little low-growing evergreen bushes, and try and plant up some of this area so it looks nice all year round. And that's something Potter will do another video on, about plant life suitable to be in companionship with your garden model railway. Anyway, I hope this has been informative. We're going to get this all really cleaned up now, and hopefully, if the weather doesn't come in too bad, might get some trains running by in the garden videos, which we haven't done now for, gosh, it must be nearly 3 months. Time just flies, doesn't it? Anyway, don't forget to like this video, share it too, and look back as well, particularly important, that review video of the Gauge Master track rubber as well is quite useful. And anyway, you take very good care of yourself, and this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take care, bye for now.